Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. Welcome to UFC 300. It is fight week. The day of recording this is Tuesday. We are 5 days away from UFC 300. 4, I don't know. But when you're watching this, it'll be 24 hours away from the massive card we have ahead of us on Saturday night. Alex Pereira versus Jamahal main event. This is gonna be the first fight card I ever watched that goes from the 7 o'clock fight, well, 7 p.m. for me. That's when Fight Pass prelims start for me, is like 7 p.m. So I'm gonna be watching all the way from Cody and Davidson all the way up to Pereira versus Jamahal. It is gonna be one long ass night, but I am going to love every last second of it. These fights are nuts, dude. Like, this is actually insane how stacked these fights are. Like, I'm just looking at the card now. First fight of the night, Figueiredo versus Garbrandt, Miller versus Green, Rodriguez versus Andrade, Moyano versus Turner, Lopez versus Yousef, Kayla Harrison versus Holm, Sterling versus Kattar, Rakic versus Prosa, Brundage versus Nickel, Saryukian versus Oliveira, Holloway versus Gaethje, Zhang Yan versus Weili, and Hill versus Pereira. Holy shit. This card is nuts. This card is actually nuts, dude. Like, can you ask for anything better than this? We gotta get straight into it because, like, this card, I'm gonna go through every single fight in this preview. So, like, guys, like, I've gotta get into this. Like, there's no more introduction here. You know what we're here for. We're gonna preview UFC 300 on Saturday night. So let's just get into it. All right, first fight up, Figueiredo versus Garbrandt. This is Davison's first fight at 35, ain't it? I believe it's Davison's first fight at 35. I'm actually gonna look into that. Let me see. Davison, Figueiredo. Come on, UFC website, load. Well, oh, sorry, he did beat Rob Font. He beat Rob Font, and now he's fighting Cody Garbrandt? Okay, but, yeah. I mean, Davison is a minus 340 favorite. That's understandable. I mean, I love Cody No Love as much as the next guy. I really do. Especially Cody being a Cleveland guy. That he's got a special place in my heart, man. I love that city. But man, Cody's much taller, which interests me in this fight. Cody's got 3 inches in height on him, but Davison's got the longer reach, as you'd expect looking at their arm range. But, like, I mean, Cody has been finding some form again. He had a really good knockout on the last card he fought on, which would have been in December. Cody looked really impressive that night, and with Davison, I think he could shock, like, he could actually shock some people and take out Cody in the first couple of rounds, man. Like, Davison's no joke, Cody's no joke, but I mean, Cody can't go into war mode with Davison Figueiredo. He's gotta do the, I mean, how do I say it? Like, he doesn't have to do exactly what he did against Dominic Cruz, but, like, he's got to find his rhythm, to say the least. Cody has got to find a rhythm, and he's got to stick with it the whole fight. Figgy, man. Oh, dude. Figgy could just hold him back with a jab the whole night, and Cody don't even want to eat jabs, man. That's how gone Cody's chin is, but, God, I just feel that, like, if Cody can't take the power off someone like Kattar France, like, man, he's not going to be able to take the power off Davison Figueiredo. God. I want Cody to win, but I'm going to take Davison Figueiredo. I think Figueiredo is just a little too good, and I think he will, maybe he'll get the stoppage in the 3rd round, but I can see this fight being a good technical brawl till the final bell, and Davison will get his hand raised. Next fight up. This is going to be one long preview, guys. Holy shit. Well. Next fight up, we got 2 veterans of the game. Bobby King Green versus Jim Miller, the all-time leader in UFC wins and fights. Wow. Jim Miller, obviously the reason he's on this card. The fans demanded it because he was on UFC 100 and UFC 200, and he's still fighting, so it only makes sense that he's on UFC 300. Man, if only we could get like a Cowboy Cerrone comeback. Could you imagine Cowboy Cerrone versus Jim Miller on UFC 300? That'd be wild. But, I mean, it's looking like a pretty easy win for Bobby Green in my eyes. I mean, Jim Miller, he is knocking out some of the younger guys lately. Like, I believe he's 5-1 in his last 6 fights. So, if you're Jim Miller, that's very impressive. Off the top of my head, I do not know if he won his fights at UFC 100 and UFC 200, but him and Bobby Green are really similar, man. Same reach, same leg reach. I mean, Bobby does have 2 inches in height, but man, this is actually a really good fight on paper. But I mean, the way I see this fight going, I just think Bobby Green's going to be a bit more faster, a bit more technical. I can see him just snapping jabs. Maybe Jim lands a takedown, but I even rate Bobby Green on the ground against Jim Miller. And I mean, now I'm thinking about if Tony Ferguson fought Jim Miller, what would happen? But, oh man. I like both of these guys here. I want to see them both get wins on such an iconic card like this one. I'm going to go with Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green gets a finish in the 2nd round. And maybe Jim Miller retires after this fight. I don't know, but I'm going to go Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green's going to get a 2nd round TKO. And just got to keep moving through these fights here, dude. Like, oh, the fact that we're actually at... This card is going to go down as the greatest of all time, I swear to God. And with our next fight on the Fight Pass prelims, we have 2 women who are almost in the top 5. Well, yeah, if Marina Rodriguez was 1 spot higher, they'd both be in the top 5 of their division. And they're the 2nd fight on Fight Pass. Like, what on earth? This card is cracked, bro. This card is cracked. But Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. It's like Jessica's fighting a young Joanna again. That's what I really see when I watch Marina Rodriguez. I see a young Joanna. I mean, for me, no one will ever top Queen Violence, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Absolutely love that girl. But, you know what? I think I could see Marina Rodriguez giving Andrade a lot of problems. The reach is shorter than I expected it to be, but my God, man. Andrade is tough. She has beaten or fought everyone on the roster. Got big wins over, like, people like Prosa Younis, you know what I mean? Like, Andrade is no joke. Beat up Mackenzie Dern in her last fight. That won me some massive cash in a parlay. I'll never forget that night at MSG. But, oh man. Andrade versus Rodriguez. It's a really good looking fight on paper. I really do like this fight. But, what I really wonder is, can Marina Rodriguez handle the ground game? Can she adapt to what Jessica Andrade will try? Because Jessica will try to get her out of her comfort zone. I trust Andrade. She's comfortable in any sense of the fight, but it really depends on how well Marina can stop Andrade on the ground, because I think she's got the advantage in the striking. Because she can just counter the power of Andrade and will lean back, slip shots, come back with her own. Maybe, I don't know. But I'll go with Marina Rodriguez. I like both fighters. I think this is going to be a really good fight, but I think Marina Rodriguez will get the job done. I think she's going to outpoint Jessica Andrade and win a unanimous decision after round 3. Next up, oh my God, man. We're not even out of the early prelims, dude. This video is probably already like 10 minutes long. Just looking at this fight, I already know who I want to win. Jalen the Tarantula Turner versus Renato Money Moicano. I want nothing more than Renato Moicano to jump on the microphone on this card. If I could have, well, actually, the first thing I would want out of this card is Max Holloway beating Justin Gaethje, but we'll get into that later. But if there was if I could pick two things to happen at UFC 300, is Renato Moicano beating Jalen Turner and hopping on the microphone. Could you imagine what Moicano would say if he won at UFC 300? Could you imagine? But let's talk technical. Let's start off with Jalen Turner, because I'm sucking Moicano off here. Pause. But the way I see it, Jalen Turner, you know, he's a good long rangey striker. It's a classic striker versus grappler matchup. Can Renato Moicano get this fight to the ground? Because Jalen Turner is going to want to keep it on the feet all night. He's going to just want to outbox Moicano. And I mean, could Moicano do what Dan Hooker did? Maybe. But the 5-inch reach, 6-inch leg reach too, man, like, even, like, Moicano's even a big 55 or, like, 5'11". Like, he's got a good build to him, too. Like, and how did this guy fought at 45, too? That's what blows my mind. But Jalen Turner, like, 6'3", dude, like, oh, I would hate to fight that. I would hate to fight that. I mean, I did just fight a tall, lanky Mexican who was like a head taller than me, so I know what Moicano feels like, but I couldn't take him to the ground. But Renato, can you get him to the ground and enforce your ground game? I mean, even if he just gets this fight in the clinch, I think Moicano's got an advantage. The only time I don't feel like Moicano has an advantage is when he's at the end of Jalen Turner's jab. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. Money Moicano gets the W, and he defeats Jalen Turner. I'm gonna say by a 3rd round submission. I like those odds, but without further delay, time for the cable prelims. Holy God. How are we like 15 minutes into this video, and we're only just getting to the ESPN prelims? Alrighty then, next up on this is the first fight of the ESPN prelims. Diego Lopez is gonna get a little bit of shine. Oh boy, Diego. He's fighting Sadiq Yousef. This is actually a really good fight on paper. I mean, Diego Lopez, another fighter in that massive parlay I had at Madison Square Garden. He's a beast, man. I mean, I kind of don't like the guy because he beat up on my hometown boy Gavin Tucker, but man, Diego Lopez, he's no joke, dude. He really is no joke, and neither is Sadiq Yousef. Both guys have good, solid striking, even a really good ground game to match that. Like, I feel like wherever this fight goes, like, no fighter has a significant advantage over another in this fight. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like both could easily outstrike each other. If it goes to the ground, I'm a bit more confident in Diego Lopez than I am Sadiq Yousef. But I feel like Sadiq Yousef is going to be fighting with a point, especially after that Edson Barboza fight. You know, I could see him just getting in there, making it a tough, gritty fight, forcing Diego Lopez to deep water. So if you haven't, at least in the UFC, we haven't seen Diego Lopez in those deep waters yet, where he has to come back and really find that heart. So it's a tough fight to call, to be honest. I mean, what's crazy is Diego Lopez is a slight favorite too, considering all that Sadiq Yousef has done in the UFC. But man, who do I pick here? Like, this is a really even fight. I'm gonna go with Diego Lopez. I'm gonna pick Diego Lopez to steal a decision over Sadiq Yousef. I don't see either of these guys getting finished, but I think this is a great fight to start off the ESPN prelims, because man, if you were watching this whole card, I don't know what you paid for tickets, but my God, you're getting your money's worth. Well, here's the fight I've been waiting to talk about. Holm versus Kayla Harrison. The debut of the judo Olympic gold medalist against the girl who upset the other judo specialist in women's MMA. This is actually got such an underrated storyline to it. It's almost like Kayla Harrison is coming to get revenge for Ronda, like 7 years later. It's a pretty cool storyline, to be honest. But oh, man, honestly, I really like Holm in this fight. I really do. I mean, Kayla Harrison is cutting from like 165, 170 all the way down to 135. Like, holy God, she's gonna be nothing but stick and bone. But here's the thing, like, Holly's even a big 35er too. Like, that's a big cut. And I mean, like, Kayla Harrison's striking is not ideal. Let's be honest, Kayla Harrison's striking is there's definitely some room for improvement. And if there's one women's MMA fighter I wouldn't want to be striking with, well, there's about 3 if I didn't know how to strike. And I mean, the 3 that come to mind are Holm, Valentina Shevchenko, and either Alessa Grasso or Weili Zhang. But I even think Weili Zhang has more of a brawler style. But proof of the pudding is Holm is no joke. But honestly, I'd be picking Holm in this fight if she wasn't 42 years old. I just feel like that age could catch up to her. And for Kayla Harrison, this is her best chance to prove herself, you know what I mean? It's a UFC debut. More eyes than ever are going to be on Kayla Harrison in this fight. And my God, like, dude, I don't know who to pick. I don't know who to pick here. I'm gonna go Kayla Harrison. Because I feel like, I mean, Nunes knocked out Holm. But I mean, I don't think Kayla Harrison's knocking out Holm anytime soon. But I just feel like Kayla Harrison's forward pressure, getting Holly to the... I mean, Holly's got good takedown defense too. But I do feel like if any fighter's gonna find a way in this fight, and I just think it's gonna be Kayla Harrison because she's got more to fight for, and she's got a lot more to show. Whereas this could be Holm's last fight. We don't know, but I mean, I know I will say this though before I go to the next fight. I do want to give Holm some credit because people have been saying, "Oh God, we're gonna have another boring fight at UFC 300, or gonna have a boring fight at UFC 300 because Holm's fighting." It's like, give this girl some credit, man. She's got the biggest upset in women's MMA history other than Juliana Pena. I mean, she fought Nunes, she fought Shevchenko, she's fought everybody, man. She's one of the pioneers of women's MMA, in my opinion, and Holm deserves a chance to fight on this card. That's just what I think, but yeah, I wanted to give Holm some flowers because I feel like she deserves it, but oh God, Sterling's up next. Oh boy. Alrighty then, next fight up, Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. First fight at 45 for the Funkmaster. After losing his title reign to O'Malley, man, he turned around too soon after that Sterling fight. I think, or after that after the Sugar fight. Is that what I said? I can't even remember. But with Aljo, man, I think if he would have waited 2 or 3 more months to take that O'Malley fight, I genuinely do think he would have won that fight. But we live and we learn. Calvin Kattar, man, what's crazy to me is this is the first time we're really going to see anyone have a height advantage on Aljamain, because he looks so much bigger than all the 35ers he fought. But at 45, Calvin Kattar's got 4 inches in height on him. Only an inch in reach, but you know what, right? I was thinking about this earlier today, and a part of me thought this could go identically to Corey Sandhagen, if you guys remember that fight. But Calvin Kattar's got some really good takedown defense, man. Kattar has got some really good takedown defense. And I mean, what was it? I'll have to look this stat up, but I believe he's got like a 90% takedown defense. 29% takedown accuracy. Where is it? Oh my god. Come on. Give me the stat I want. Yeah, 91% takedown defense for Calvin Kattar. But I'm a little worried about Calvin Kattar coming back from a knee injury, especially that fight against Arnold Allen. Because, I mean, for any athlete in particular, having a bad knee injury like that it's not good, especially in combat sports where you can have that thing kicked out of you. So, my official prediction for this fight, I'm going to go with Aljamain. I think Aljamain will find a way to just impose his will on Calvin Kattar. I could also see this fight going very similar to the second Yan fight. A very close fight, but Aljamain just moving forward, imposing his will, forcing Calvin Kattar to be in uncomfortable situations, and just getting the fight at the end of the day. But I'm gonna go with the Funk Master, and oh my god, we're getting the further I go up this card, it's like, holy god, like we have so many good fights on this card, dude. It's like we're getting treated too good. Dana cooked for us. Oh my god, man, I'm getting tired already. We haven't even made it to the pay-per-view. But next fight up, Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. Holy smokes. What a fight. What a fight. Imagine being Alexander Rakic, and this is your first fight back from injury. Like, God. I mean, looking at this fight in particular, they're really similar in their statistics. So, I mean, maybe 1 inch in height. Maybe one gives 1 inch in height. Maybe one gives 2 inches in reach. And 1 inch in leg reach. Like, these two are really similar on paper, but the thing about their fighting styles is Rakic likes to control the pace. He likes to dictate the fight by himself. Yuri don't care, to be quite honest. Prohaska just doesn't care. He's gonna come in with that samurai energy and just do the business, you know what I mean? That's what I think about Yuri Prohaska in this fight. But I can just see Yuri just being there and like sticking his head at Rakic and then just like squatting down and hitting him with like 5 overhand rights in a row or some crazy thing like that. Like, Yuri's a wild guy to be locked in a cage with. Let me say that. And I think he's gonna take a lot of lessons that he learned from the Alex Pereira fight into this fight in particular. I mean, God, when was the last fight for Rakic? Let me look this up. Two European guys too. That makes it interesting. But yeah, his last fight was May 14th, 2022 against Jan Blachowicz. So almost 2 years ago when he had that injury. That's pretty crazy to think about. But man, Rakic is a favorite too, which kind of blows my mind. But man, I almost kind of want Rakic to win just so we have a new challenger for what's his face, Pereira. But it's a good fight, man. It's a really good fight on paper. I'm gonna go with the Czech. I'm gonna go with Yuri Prohaska. And man, if he can just find a way to stay technical and just get back to the Yuri that we all know he can be, this boy is a monster. He is a monster for sure. And if he can beat up Rakic, that sends a statement to the rest of the 205ers like, hey, I may not have beaten Alex Pereira, but goddamn, I can beat your boys. But that's my pick for the main event of the prelims. Still do not know how this is a prelim fight, but we're finally on to the pay-per-view. Holy smokes. Do I really have to spend time talking about this? Okay. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. Bo Nickel's probably going to win in the first round. Let's be real, but unless Cody Brundage just slams him to the floor and knocks him out, I don't see any way Cody Brundage wins this fight. I mean, maybe he lands a big overhand, but those are like the only two avenues to victory for Cody Brundage. But with Bo Nickel, like, NCAA Division I wrestler, great striking. You even see, he hasn't even had to really use his wrestling in the UFC. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, Bo Nickel is an absolute stud, man. He is an absolute stud. I would love to see him get a tough test against some of the hierarchies in the middleweight division. But for now, they're going to build up his name. He's 5-0 record, I believe 2-0 in the UFC, 2 fights on pay-per-views, but I mean, this guy's a star in the making, and that's why he's on the pay-per-view at UFC 300. I'm going to take Bo Nickel by a first-round submission against Cody Brundage. I think he's going to give us a little taste of what his wrestling can do and get away from a power striker like Cody Brundage. Just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys got. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Oh my God, this fight card's not gonna disappoint, man. There's no way this card disappoints. Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, this is actually such an even fight too. Side note, how the hell is Arman Tsarukyan more than a 2-1 favorite over to Bronx Oliveira, whose only loss in like the last 5 years is to Islam Makhachev? And he's been fighting Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, like, and he even fought Tony Ferguson, and like, dude, how is Bronx an underdog, man? I am going to be dropping the hammer on Charles Oliveira, I will say that much. But Tsarukyan, man, I do like this kid a lot. I really do. I mean, he's got a great wrestling game, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like against a long, rangy guy like Charles, I don't think his striking's going to be his best asset in this fight, but if I were Tsarukyan, I'd be trying to get to Bronx to the ground and just get on top of him the best I can. But like, here's the thing, dude. Bronx has proven he can go with Makhachev and like these guys on the ground. Like, Charles is no joke. Like when Charles and Islam fought, I really thought Charles was gonna submit Islam off his back. I really did. Charles is that friggin' good, man. His Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is out of this world. I'm like, for someone who just started Jiu-Jitsu training like 7-8 months ago, I am in awe of Charles do Bronx's Jiu-Jitsu. I absolutely love to watch it, man. And I mean, Tsarukyan's one of those guys he could do it against. And I mean, you've seen how good Charles was in his comeback against Beneil Dariush after the Islam fight. Dude, this is a guy who's submitted Dustin Poirier. I believe he submitted Dustin. Knocked out Justin Gaethje. Wait, did he? I can't remember. I know he knocked out Chandler. But like, and this guy's a beast, dude. This guy is an absolute beast. If there was one fighter I wouldn't want to mess with at 55 other than Islam, it's Charles. But my official prediction for this fight, I love both of them, but I think Charles is going to get it done. If Charles doesn't get the finish, I believe he will get the decision nod. I think he'll find a way to win these rounds, but if it ends quickly, I feel like Tsarukyan will get a finish. But excuse me. My official prediction for this fight is Charles do Bronx Oliveira to win by a decision. Tsarukyan's going to be pretty hard to stop, but I highlight to Bronx's chances in this fight? Well, the people's main event. And that's saying something, considering this card. Justin the Highlight Gaethje versus Max Blessed Holloway. Oh my heaven's sakes, dude. Like, what a fight. What a fight this is. The Highlight, the BMF of the game now, after his win over Dustin, head kicked him into an oblivion. And now he's taking on your fighter's favorite fighter and my all-time favorite fighter in Max Blessed Holloway. Oh, dude. There's nothing more I want than to see Max get a win at UFC 300 against Gaethje. I love Justin Gaethje too, but like, dude, every time Holloway has something go bad for him, my heart just sinks. I just love Max Holloway so much. And he's looking like a tank. He's looking like an absolute tank for this fight. Like, I know we fought Poirier at 55. At what event was it? Like 236? I remember that fight was in Atlanta. It was the same night that Adesanya and Gastelum had that all-timer of a fight. That was a crazy... That was... Oh my god, that was 5 years ago. Holy shit, I'm getting old. Oh my god. I'm just clicking in. That fight was 5 years ago. Oh my god. But... That was literally like 5 years ago to the day of this card, too. Holy crap, man. But... Here's a breakdown of this fight. Forget about a takedown. I don't see a takedown happening. But here's the thing. I feel like each fighter is each other's antidote. Like, if there's anyone who can if there's anyone who can break Max Holloway's durability, it's Justin Gaethje. And if there's anyone who can outlast Justin Gaethje, it's Max Holloway. Like, this fight is just so goddamn good. Like, you can't oh my god. I know people think Holloway's gonna get ran over by Gaethje, but call me biased all you want, but I don't think so. Should I just start playing my Hawaiian tunes now? Get my phone out, start cranking some Hawaiian music? Because, oh my god. This is gonna be a war. This is gonna be a war. I can guarantee that. Neither fighter might come out the same person. Holloway, will his chin hold up against Gaethje? It's held up in, 32 fights before, so why not? Oh, man. I'm gonna roll with him, man. I'm gonna take Max Holloway. And I think Max Holloway's gonna get the decision nod over Justin Gaethje. I really do think it. Whether it happens or not, who knows? But I gotta back my boy. I gotta stick with Blessed. Love you too, Justin. But I gotta rock with my boy Max. Max is the guy, man. If Holloway's fighting, I'm gonna back him till the final bell blows, or whether he wins or he doesn't. I'm still gonna rock with Max, man. But I'll take Holloway by decision. And now we get into the official title fights. Oh my Jesus. Well then, co-main event at UFC 300 is Weili Zhang versus Yan Xiaonan. Two Chinese women fighting for a UFC title, and let's bet on China. China. Oh. Of course I pick this fight to make a Donald Trump meme, but oh my god. Weili, let's be honest, I think Weili is going to win this fight. I really do. I think Weili is going to win this fight. Whether she gets a finish in the first, second, third, whatever round it is, I just think Weili is bigger, stronger, better, more technical in striking and grappling. Just a better fighter overall. I mean, Yan could give her a good fight, but I just don't. I honestly think Weili might just take her down and submit her just to show that she's got a grappling game as well. But I'm gonna go Zhang Weili. I think she gets a TKO in the second round. This could go, I wouldn't say as dominant as the Carla Esparza fight, but I think it's going to be up there. I really do. I just don't think Yan Xiaonan's going to have anything for Zhang Weili. If she does, fair play to her. I'll hold my hands up. I'm a dumbass UFC predictor, but I'm going to give this fight to Zhang Weili. And now it's time for the main event. Holy crap, and this video is going to be at least 40 minutes long. Holy Jesus. And just like that, we have arrived at the main event of UFC 300. Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. Man. This is actually a really good fight. I really do love this fight. A lot of underlying storylines with Jamahal Hill beating Glover. Excuse me. When he won the title, so it's an interesting one. It really is an interesting one. I just wish this fight wasn't after an Achilles surgery for Jamahal Hill, because Alex Pereira's arguably got the best leg kicks in the game. He does, like, this dude's a monster. He'll just look at you and go, huh? And then just left hook you into the shadow realm, like, this Pereira's a monster, dude. He's an absolute monster. Can Jamahal Hill do what Izzy did? Maybe. Maybe he can do what Izzy did. That Izzy fight was just over a year ago now. That's crazy to think. But, man, they're the same height too. Like, it's actually pretty similar. Like on paper, statistically wise, tail of the tape wise, but I just feel like if Hill wants to beat Alex Pereira, he's gonna have to get him out of there early. He's gonna have to really use his power, use a lot of energy in those first couple of rounds, because I feel like Alex is gonna have a lot better cardio than Jamahal Hill, and plus I think Jamahal Hill's probably gonna be standing on maybe half a leg by the end of this fight if it goes the 5-minute round distance. And Pereira's a tank, bro. What can I say? Alex Pereira is just an absolute tank. And I would not be surprised in the slightest if he gets the job done on Saturday night. I would not be surprised in the slightest. But that being said, you cannot count out Jamahal Hill. I thought Glover was going to beat him at UFC 283, but Jamahal Hill made a statement that night. Jamahal Hill showed why we cannot sleep on this guy, and slowly but surely, Jamahal Hill's becoming one of my favorite fighters. I really like it, watching Jamahal Hill fight. He's a really fun follow on social media. He's fun to watch fight, and I could definitely see him winning a title as well, but winning the title back, I should say. It's the title he never really lost. He just vacated it because he had that Achilles surgery and didn't want to hold up the division, which I really respect. The same thing goes to Yuri too when he had the title. But man, oh man. And Pereira's power is something we can't take out of this too. Even Hill's power. I feel like, I could see Hill doing what Yuri did almost, and just like walking into that left hook. And if there's one punch in the UFC, well, if there's one punch I wouldn't want to walk into, it'd be Francis Ngannou's right hand. But behind that one, in the UFC, the only punch I wouldn't want to walk into is the left hook of Alex Pereira. Like, that left hook is a different animal. But okay, time to make my official prediction. I'm going to say that Poatan Alex Pereira finishes Jamahal Hill in the 4th round and reclaiming the UFC Light Heavyweight Title. That's what I'm going to say for UFC 300. Those are all my picks. Let's recap. We got Pereira We got Weili, we got Holloway, we got Charles, we got Nico, we got Prohaska, we got Sterling, we got Kayla, we got Lopez, Moyano, Rodriguez, Bobby Green, and Pereira. Maybe the greatest card of all time is going down at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. I hope you guys enjoy it, man, because I am sure as hell going to have the time of my life watching all these fights from start to finish. Man, you can't ask for much better than this, guys. You really can't. And whatever happens at UFC 300, if your favorite fighter's fighting, just like mine and Max Holloway, just enjoy the show, enjoy this moment, because it's going to be another 7 to 8 years before we come across UFC 400. So enjoy this milestone event while it's here, and let's enjoy this arguably the greatest UFC card to ever grace the planet. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below telling me what you think is going to happen at UFC 300. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. And another reminder that I am recording this on Tuesday of fight week, so if any pullouts or anything happen, I have no idea. Just let me know. Rip into me in the comments below if like Kayla Harrison pulls out. That's probably the most realistic thing to happen. But I will see you at UFC 300, and next time out, if you only watch my UFC picks, I will see you for UFC 301 when Alex Pantoja fights Steven Erg, I believe his name is. But anyways, guys, take care and peace.